Hello, my name is Pablo Paredes, and I'm here to present Commute, a guided slow breathing for daily stress management in drivers, a paper led by Stephanie Balters in collaboration with Matt Mauriello, Yeon Park, and James Landay and myself. So prior research has shown that it is possible to do guided breathing in the car. This has been shown in a simulator study, but we basically wanted to validate if this is possible also in normal conditions. Can we lower our breathing rate and arousal level, and how long do they sustain over time, and if there is any difference in between normal and stressful driving conditions, something that hasn't been proven before, and will they be these interventions safe, and so can we proceed to do more testing beyond driving in a closed circuit. So as you can see, the driver here is basically operating in a garage that was instrumented in order to do the experimentation. We got the driving happening in a continuous circuit without any interruptions. This is a real car instrumented with several sensors to get information about their bodies and the performance of the car. The system to guide breathing was essentially a pad that was built in order to help modify the breathing rate by providing guidance of haptic, using a haptic stimulus. The haptic stimulus was instrumented based on a series of motors, vibrating motors, as you could see those little dots, that actuated as a matrix to basically support a swiping motion or gesture that will guide people to breathe in and breathe out. The design was basically built to test a control group versus the intervention group, and the conditions for stress driving, meaning that stress was presented before the driving, and normal driving, meaning like people will just drive without any additional stressor. We recruited 24 participants, 12 female, 12 male. Many of them were actual commuters, ages around 40 years old. The procedure showed what would be essentially a traditional stress-based study where you have a baseline, then a familiarization, then a stress is presented for a 3-minute math task, and then you will have, in the case of the intervention condition, the intervention to help reduce stress. In the case of the control, the intervention will be removed. Then a rest phase, and do a wait period in order to help people reduce their stress and go back to normal, and then again apply the intervention for those who were in the intervention condition. The apparatus was essentially the garage that you observed in the first video, and they went around several turns, and we instrumented the road as well as the car in order to have 2 cameras that were pointed downwards in order to measure the distance of the car versus the edges of what will be the lane in order to measure performance and safety. The hypotheses basically were the breathing rate, the arousal, mainly RMSSD or high rate variability, safety to measure brakes and lane departure, and also performance. First, we validated our stressor worked, the MAT stressor, and we observed that there was a substantial change between the pre-stressor and post-stressor. And then here are the results. The main results show that in normal driving there was a change and between the before the intervention and during the intervention. And for the stressor driving, the one that received a stressor before driving, there was actually change before the intervention happened, during the intervention, and even that change was sustained after the intervention, which is very exciting. The same results we observe for RMSSD. As you know, breathing and heart rate variability are correlated, so RMSSD increased, which is actually a sign of stress reduction. We didn't observe any safety incidents defined by no severe lane departures, meaning more than 50% of the car moved out of the lane. This is a sample of some of the measurements for a control and intervention group and how people deviated from the center of the line. As you can see, there's very little change, and no heart breaks were also observed. And it was perceived, the intervention was perceived as efficacious and safe by the participants. They thought that, they did experience a reduction of stress. They didn't see it as too distracting, like 3.9 out of 10. And all of them perceived it as safe, except a couple of people who said that it shouldn't be applied when they are already tired because could make them sleepy. So in conclusion, we presented our validation of an idea of breathing in the car as a guided breathing in the car. We validated that it's efficacious and engaging. We validated that it's safe and that the performance is minor reduction in performance. So at the end of the day, we believe that future research in this area could continue to in traffic testing, meaning we can actually start testing in real traffic, as we don't perceive this to be a serious hindrance for drivers. Thank you. This was Commute, an efficacious and safe guided slow breathing for daily stress management and drivers. Thank you very much.